The anime starts with Ryuta, a die-hard Btooom player. Being an elite player, Ryuta ranked the 10th best player worldwide. The scene shifts to Ryuta waking up to find himself stranded on an island. Unable to recollect how he got there in the first place, Ryuta tries calling for help, but there's no signal. He also finds a green chip on his hand and a bag containing his wallet and some food. After Ryuta reaches a nearby beach, a blurry memory strikes his mind of him having a falling out with his mother after she sent his resume to the grocery store. Besides, Ryuta is trying to get a job at a game company. Not long after, some men in black approached him. Back in the present, the sun sets, Ryuta eats all the food and finds a bag of timer bombs in his bag. Later on, a stranger approaches. Ryuta calls him for help, but the man tries killing him with a bomb. Ryuta runs away and deduces that he's going to have to play Btooom for real now. The man chases him and bombards him with bombs. Ryuta is having a qualm about using his bombs to kill him. After all, he's not in-game anymore. Ryuta is concerned and forced to jump off the cliff into the ocean. Before the man throws another cracker bomb, a timer bomb Ryuta planted before jumping explodes and kills the man instantly. In a flashback, we see Ryuta inviting a girl named Himiko to a game. Himiko is a normal high school girl who, unlike Ryuta, has her friends, but she's also a player of Btooom. Later on, she discusses with her friends a service they found on the internet offering 100,000 yen if they give the name of anyone they wish to disappear. Back in the present, Himiko finds herself marooned in the island, equipped with a bag of bombs and a taser. Not knowing where to go, Himiko just lies down. A bit later, 3 men wake her up and assure her they don't mean to harm her. Their names are Isamu, Mitsuo, and Masashi. After a dispute about who should be the leader, the 3 men elect Himiko since she's the only girl in the group. Soon after, the group finds a bag full of food, start eating it. However, Isamu protests about not dividing the food fairly. Suddenly, Masashi slits his throat just to make him shut up, killing him. Before Masashi slits their throats like he did with Isamu, Mitsuo and Hihiko sneak away and take all the bomb bags and food while Masashi is still asleep. However, Masashi chases them and catches up to them eventually. Before Masashi can get closer, Mitsuo scares him away with a poisonous smoke grenade. After crossing the bridge, Mitsuo starts getting hysteric and delusional and attempts sexually assaulting Himiko, but she tases him. Afterward, Himiko recalls how her friends got sexually assaulted and how she herself was about to fall victim for it before she narrowly escaped. She also remembers how her friendship with Miho ended on a really bad note. Himiko snaps back to the present when Matsuo finds her and tries sexually assaulting her again. Himiko would rather die than let him assault her, so she goes kamikaze and activates a timer bomb, hoping to take him with her. Scared, Mitsuo runs away, but Himiko throws the bomb at him and kills him with it. From this incident, all men are scumbags to Himiko, and she won't hesitate to kill anyone to protect herself. While she's taking a break by the river, Ryuta runs into her. Ryuta tries talking to her, but Himiko runs away into the forest. Ryuta chases her, but encounters a man pooping in the bushes named Kiyoshi. Kiyoshi reveals that 2 men in black kidnapped him, and he found himself on a plane with other people who are informed by Takanahashi, founder of Btooom, about their involvement in a death game on an isolated island. Each participant will be given one of 2 types of BIMs, that is, bombs, as there will be a chip embedded in each participant's left hand. The objective of this game is to kill as many participants as you can to collect their chips. Once a participant gains 6 chips, they are allowed to get out of the island. Surprisingly, Ryuta lashes out and is electrocuted in the head afterward, which explains the blurry memories and his inability to remember why he's in the island. Given that Kiyoshi doesn't want to kill, Ryuta teams up with him. Suddenly, parachutes of food supplies are dropped into the island. Ryuta tries to get one, but a girl beat him to it. However, she falls into somebody else's trap and is killed by a planted BIM. Her assailant shows up, takes her ship and the food, and flees the scene. After seeing that, Ryuta starts wondering how people can kill without second thoughts. He also decides not to pursue another parachute, but Kiyoshi tells him you can't fight with an empty stomach, which is why they need food, otherwise they won't survive. Elsewhere, a young boy named Kosuke sadistically kills frogs until a man named Natsumi finds him and tells how wrong it is to kill living beings. A food supply parachute lands nearby, along with Kusaki's abusive father Kira. Natsumi and Kusaki investigate it. After Kira has son plant the implosion explosive into the tree, he decides to take all the food for himself, abiding to rule of the jungle. Quote, "Only the strongest survives." After his son calls him scum, Kira grabs him by the balls. But Kusaki plants the BIM on him, killing him, traumatizing Natsumi. Not soon after, Ryuta and Kiyoshi arrive at the scene. Seeing the sadistic Kosuke, the two make a run for it. Kiyoshi trips and won't be able to run. Kosuke uses his chip to know where he is, from which Ryuta deduces he's also a Btooom player. A bomb fight ensues afterwards. Kosuke has the upper hand as he overwhelms Ryuta with his bomb and corners him. Kosuke throws another bomb, causing Ryuta to hit his head against a rock. From that moment, Ryuta figures it all out, disappears in the bushes, and cancels his radar, disabling Kosuke from knowing where Ryuta is. Kosuke is more uneasy and caught by Ryuta in a surprise attack with a cracker BIM. Ryuta suddenly snaps back to his senses. He can't fully process what happened. After the smoke clears, Kosuke is seen lying on the ground, defeated. Ryuta takes the food supply from Kosuke and eats it with Kiyoshi. Soon after, Ryuta encounters Himiko, who throws a smoke BIM and lures him out of the woods. Ryuta tries reasoning with her, but Himiko gets hysterical and starts thinking Ryuta is deceiving her, so she throws a timer bomb at him. However, Ryuta survives and charges at her. Himiko pulls out her taser and tries tasing Ryuta. Ryuta dodges her attacks and causes her to tase herself instead. Not long after, Himiko wakes up to find herself carried by Ryuta. She gets hysteric and tries exploding a timer bomb in her pocket. Thinking Ryuta will assault her, Ryuta deactivates it and talks her down. Later, Himiko joins them for dinner. As Kiyoshi starts talking about getting out, Himiko reveals the reason they're stuck on the island is that someone they knew wanted their disappearance. Himiko's friend wanted her gone for not saving her from getting sexually assaulted. Ryuta's mother wanted him gone for finding a job. Kiyoshi recalls having a dispute with a customer. Suddenly, the three are interrupted by a lizard coming from the bushes. After Himiko faints, Ryuta has Kiyoshi take her away while he fights off the lizards. Ryuta tries using the BIMs that were with Himiko, however, they don't explode because they don't count as his. A lizard bites Kiyoshi in the leg, but Ryuta kills the lizard with his own BIM. Following, Ryuta and Kiyoshi keep moving, Ryuta carrying the unconscious Himiko and Kiyoshi carrying the BIM pouches and food. Again, a lizard attacks them, the two are separated. Ryuta uses his chip to see where Kiyoshi is, but Kiyoshi cancelled his radar. A lizard corners Ryuta before it can kill him. Kiyoshi's flying BIM kills it, thus saving Ryuta. The two end up in a tower near the sea. Having run out of BIMs, Ryuta uses Himiko's hand to activate her smoke BIM to kill the lizards crawling towards them, thus ending their threat. After Himiko regains consciousness, Kiyoshi's leg is infected, so Ryuta has Himiko help him disinfect it with water. Later on, Ryuta asks Himiko what her name is, but Himiko acts aggressively and asks why she should trust them. Given that Himiko has a variety of BIMs and food supplies, Ryuta deduces that Himiko killed many participants, which raises the question, should Ryuta trust her? Suddenly, they realize they've been detected by someone else's sonar. Ryuta decides to act as a decoy and draw him off. The attacker turns out to be Masashi, who then overpowers him and has Natsumi, who is working with him, take his BIMs. After electrocuting Natsumi in the leg, Ryuta escapes. Afterwards, Ryuta returns to the tower to realize that Masashi tracked him. After slicing off Kiyoshi's fingers, Masashi knocks Ryuta off the building. Ryuta regains consciousness to find himself on a tree. After returning to the tower, Kiyoshi tells him Masashi took Himiko. After checking Himiko's phone, Kiyoshi realizes that Himiko is the girl he married inside the virtual world of Btooom. After Masashi ties Himiko to a bed, he starts torturing her. However, he's interrupted when realizing that Ryuta tracked him down by his radar. Natsumi and Masashi start searching for him. Ryuta infiltrates the place, locates Himiko, saves her, and tells her about their virtual marriage. As they try escaping, they're attacked by Natsumi and Masashi, causing them to separate. Natsumi chases Ryota, but Ryota manages to kill him with his cracker BIM. Himiko is held hostage by Masashi, who drops his knife and challenges Ryota to a hand-to-hand combat. Ryota runs for the knife and tries killing Masashi with it, but Masashi beats the hell out of him. Himiko plants a blazing gas BIM on Masashi and flees with Ryuta. The two try getting out on an opening in the ceiling, but before Ryuta can pull Himiko up, a Masashi with a melted flesh grabs her legs. However, Ryuta drops a BIM timer and blows Masashi, leading to his death. Ryuta pulls Himiko up. Little do they know they're being monitored by Takanohashi, who marvels at how they killed Masashi. Back on the island, Himiko and Ryuta commandeer a dilapidated building where they'll spend the night. Before sleeping, Ryuta bonds with Himiko and opens up about how Btooom was everything. His marriage through virtual with Himiko felt real and made him happy. Hearing this, Himiko silently cries. Suddenly, Himiko freaks out after seeing a mysterious woman by the door. Ryuta reckons it was a player given that it was holding a light. After searching the building, Ryuta is entering her room and attacked by the woman from behind. But Ryuta knocks her unconscious. After she regains consciousness, she gets hysterical, yelling at Ryuta to get out. After Himiko talks her down, she introduces herself as Shiki. She used to be a nurse. A doctor she respected named Date caused an incident. Shiki had to cover for him by altering the charts. Eventually, she took the rap for what Date did and got fired. Even though Shiki received a letter asking her about who she'd like to disappear, it turns out someone else chose her, causing her to end up on the island. More surprisingly, Dr. Date happened to be one of the participants, as he told Shiki to put the past behind them and play this death game together. After killing 6 players and collecting their chips, Date betrays her, severs her arm, and steals her chips before she leaves the island on a helicopter. After recounting her story, Shiki tells Himiko not to trust any man and adds that the real test is when they obtain all 6 chips. Afterward, Himiko tells Ryuta about Shiki's story but conceals the test. After obtaining the 6 chips, Ryuta then plans to hijack a helicopter so he, Himiko, Shiki, and Kiyoshi can escape the island. Surprisingly enough, Dr. Date is sent back to the island to attend Kiyoshi's wounds. Ryuta and Himiko return to Kiyoshi to find Dr. Date treating him. Dr. Date acts innocent and deceives Ryuta and Himiko into thinking he's on their side. Little do the three know of the latent, vile intentions Date is harboring. A food supply is dropped, prompting Ryuta, Himiko, and Date to rush for it. However, Ryuta encounters another player named Oda, who's also running for the case. Both jump trying to catch it but fail. A fight ensues between the two afterwards, as their cracker BIMs collide mid-air, causing a big explosion. Meanwhile, Himiko encounters Hidemi, who instantly knocks her out, throws a timer BIM on her, and blows her up. Dr. Date catches the drop, but is attacked by Oda with the burning gas BIM. Date runs away, blows the BIM he planted on the parachute, and has Ryuta pick it up, almost causing him to fall off the cliff. Himiko turns out to be alive, and starts fighting with Hidemi. Ryuta and Oda continue fighting for the food, but they're attacked by other players, forcing them to jump off the cliff. Back in the bushes, Dr. Date throws a BIM to kill them both. However, neither was killed, as Date tells Himiko he was trying to save her. Soon after, Ryuta emerges from the beach. A player tries picking up the food case, but soon falls for Oda's trap, instantly leading to his death. After Oda takes the food, Ryuta threatens him with the cracker BIM and has him drop all the food and supplies and walk away. Ryuta tries taking Oda's stuff, but falls for Oda's trap. Oda detonates the BIMs he planted using a remote control. Ryuta is seemingly dead, but turns out to be alive after Oda checks his radar. Oda attacks once more, but Ryuta flees to the beach. Suddenly, Oda recognizes Ryuta, so he takes the food and leaves, rendering Ryuta confused about how Oda knows his name. After Ryuta, Himiko, and Date return to Kiyoshi, Ryuta finally realizes that Oda was his best friend in high school. Unlike him, Oda was talented, charismatic, and highly popular. However, their friendship started to crumble when Ryuta finds out that Oda slept with his crush. The two started fighting and got expelled from school afterwards. As Kiyoshi's health worsens due to venom, Ryuta suggests they go search for a serum and some medicine. Himiko informs Ryuta of her doubts towards Dr. Date given that he almost killed her while she was fighting Hidemi. The three reach the dilapidated building where Shiki lives. The three split up searching for medicine and supplies. Dr. Date finds some expired medicines and collects them in a case. As he hands the case to Ryuta, Date tells him that mutual trust is very important to survive on this island. All of a sudden, Himiko yells at Ryuta to toss the case off the window after having a hunch that Date planted a BIM in there. It turns out Himiko's doubts were well placed when Dr. Date detonates the BIM using his remote control. 10 minutes earlier, Shiki recognized Dr. Date and tells Himiko to stop him, lest he screws them over like he did with her, which prompts Himiko to rush and yell at Ryuta to toss the bag. Thinking that Ryuta's dead, Himiko is devastated. Before Date kills her, Shiki surprises him and hits him from behind, scaring him away. Shiki throws more BIMs at Date, who then lures her into his trap and blows her up. Devastated, Himiko can't bring herself to perk back up, thinking that Ryuta is dead. Date throws Ryuta's cracker BIM at her, but it doesn't explode. Much to Date's shock, who sees Ryuta coming through his sonar. In order to use somebody else's BIMs, that somebody must be killed. Ryuta wasn't dead in the first place. 5 minutes earlier, it is revealed that Ryuta did throw the case away and survived the explosion by jumping to the lower floor. Back in the present, Ryuta demands that Date give up and admit defeat. Date makes a run for it and lures Ryuta into his trap. A BIM he planted under the boards. Ryuta reveals that found the BIM planted while he was chasing Himiko and moved it into where Date would hide it. The BIM explodes before Date can run away. Following the explosion, Date lies on the ground severely injured. Shiki looms over Date ready to kill him, but spares him, telling him she will never forgive him, as she bursts out crying. Kiyoshi's condition worsens more as he starts hallucinating and seeing his wife and son. Craving to go home, Kiyoshi goes mad and starts targeting Ryuta and Himiko with BIM, injuring Ryuta in the process. Himiko recalls the test Shiki said Himiko and Ryuta will have upon leaving the island. Kiyoshi throws another flying BIM, but Himiko snatches it midair and deactivates it. Kiyoshi sends another one, but Ryuta deactivates it. Having but one BIM, Kiyoshi flees away, but Ryuta detects him using his sonar. Ryuta limps after him, trying to reason with him, but it's too late, as Kiyoshi falls in the lizard's den. Surrounded by the lizards, Kiyoshi remembers his family, mindfully apologizes to Ryuta and Himiko, goes kamikaze, and blasts all the lizards. Ryuta cries over Kiyoshi's body, lamenting his failure to save him. Now that they have 5 chips, Himiko asks Ryuta to kill her and take her chip so he can get out of the island. However, Ryuta refuses and tells her how much he loves her, as he promises to date her officially when they get off of the island. That's all for this video. Please make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more recaps on all your favorite anime shows. You don't want to miss out. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.